if you solve all of this,
Yep.
then we can start talking about ping pong tables.
Exactly.
So the way people collaborate, the way people talk to each other, the way people solve problems, the way that when there's a problem within the company, interdivisions, can we solve this problem properly without gossiping at them? So all this kind of thing, it's really simple stuff.
It's a daily stuff though.
It's a daily stuff, but then we see more of a ping pong tables being talked on, or maybe gym membership.
Yeah.
And basically what he did was talking like almost every day, getting people to get to have coffee with him. And where does your budget go? And how much are you spending for training, for performance, for it? So I think it's a great curiosity that Donnie has in order to find like what's really like the problem in
that tech can solve. Yeah,
exactly.
Hello everyone, this is Ray from Nalar Bicara. Today I have a special guest coming into the office or the studio. He's has been building startups for many years, and his startup is within the HR tech. Everyone please welcome Reydi.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
No problem.
Really excited to be here, man. I mean, like, look at you, like, congratulations for what you've achieved so far.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, Happy5 has been around since 2013, right? And it's a long way until 2004 now, and going to 25.
Right.
And we'd love to know the story, the history, and then the journey to get here. And now it seems like you're heading towards another milestone to expand yourself to the US.
Right.
So this is something that I really wanna talk about today. Now, but before we're getting to that, please share your background story and what's the story behind the founding of Happy5. Why HR tech specifically? Are you really excited about human capital, or what is it?
Right. Right. So yeah, hey everyone, my name is Reydi. I'm a CTO and a co-founder of Happy5. Happy5, we built an enterprise-grade end-to-end performance management system for enterprises.
Yep.
Basically, we provide KPI management, appraisals, project management, and employee engagement as well in our platform. And we sell them, and the big companies are actually using us for the past 10 years right now.
Amazing.
Right. So and to your question, how we got into the HR tech, basically, I think we see that the industry the tech scene has been growing rapidly for the past 10 years, and then we wanted to build something out of nowhere. And we see a lot of industries, like I think you see the on-demand rides, the e-commerce, and the logistics, the payment gateway, the fintech, and everything. Yeah. And then we also need to fit to what our skill set, our domain expertise, where we find fit. And then we see that in HR specifically, we do not see a lot of innovations going on, or maybe like there's some kind of old technology like the payroll stuff, like the recruitment,
like the basic stuff,
absent stuff, and then this kind of technology has been around for like 10 to 20.
That's right.
Over many years, even before the .com boom and everything, right? But then we didn't see a lot of innovations going on, especially within these the past 10 years, where the tech boom has been growing rapidly. And then we started we just knew that because my partner has actually been in the industry, the HR industry. Donnie has been doing consulting for this big enterprises where he actually do the actual personalized assessment for BUMN directors.
Right.
So we're serving OJK, who's going to be like the next director of each of our BUMNs. We monitor them, like using the cameras and everything to track how this people behaves, and whether he was going to be like it's going to be
the right fit into the position
fit for the next position within the other BUMN. So he's been in that kind of environment. He also helped doing the strategy of the competency models within the company. How do we develop people within the company? And we're talking about the really big companies where they have like thousands or tens of thousands of employees. You're gonna do it at scale. So I think Tony started all of this. He's the founder. I actually joined the company just about 6 years ago.
Okay.
In 2018, the company's been here, like you said, been here for about 10 years since 2013 and 14.
Yep.
And then they've been changing founders.
Okay.
We've been changing founders
and the CTOs
and the CTOs as well. And then I joined. I think I'm the longest CTO by far in the company. I think during that time as well, it was 2017, 2018. We kind of like pivoted. So previously we built this. We started as an employee engagement app.
Employee engagement app. Okay.
So there's the initial product we built was Happy5 culture. So basically we provide the social media kind of app, kind of like LinkedIn, but you can only use it like within your
internally.
Internal. So it's internal communication.
Yeah.
We help these companies to collect the employee engagement.
I see.
Are people happy? It's actually the names come from. A lot of people ask this. So before you ask, I'm just gonna explain.
I was going to ask
Happy5. It comes from Happy 5 days of working.
Okay.
So basically, we want to help the employees to be happy at workplace. 5 days of working.
5 days a week.
Anyway, yeah, but it's not 5 days anymore right now. These days, but I don't know. I mean, so that was the initial idea of the name, and we built this employee engagement social media internal. You can do recognition as well. You can do survey as well, and within the app, we still have the app until now. There are some several small. Actually, big companies actually using it.
Still using
until today. They're still paying the app until today. Although we kind of like during the 2017, we kind of like not quite pivoted it. It's we're changing the focus to more on the performance management
side of it,
part of the product. So we launched another product called Happy5 Performance. This is the second and our most successful product by far. And then this is like the one product that we also like to try to push to the US market as well. And yeah, I think the problem with the social media or employee engagement tools back then, I think this is still true to today, is that there's not a lot of investment being
flowing into that section.
I mean, like it's kind of important, but it's not like the most painful part of when you run an HR in a big companies, right? Because and then we try to sell this Happy5. I mean, like people
maybe because it was the time is quite early during those days, maybe, right? So the company didn't see it as something an urgent or
correct
a pressing matter to solve.
Yeah, I mean, we closed several deals like for 6 months, and then they got churned, and then it's happening again and again, and we try to rethink how we can be sustainable to actually offer a better product which is sustainable, and it's so that's where we find the productivity of the employees is much more important, and the companies, the enterprise, the clients are willing to invest more, and not just invest, but actually want to pay a really big bucks of money.
Now, talking about that, when you figure out a product that you started, and then you figure out a product that's company actually likes and willing to pay for it, it sounded like you found the PMFs there, right?
Right.
Now, is that can you tell me more the journey of Happy5 finding their PMFs? Because you mentioned that the company started off as a
employee engagement
product, and then it's becoming a performance measurement product.
Right. So this is coming back to the basic. So talk to your customers, right? So I think luckily, I think my partner Doni is a very well connected guy. I mean, not because of he's a son of Billy Saputra or someone like that, but I think he has a lot of friends working as a director of a top companies in Jakarta, especially, and basically what he did was talking like almost every day, getting people to get to have coffee with him, and then trying to dig into what kind of problem, where does your budget go, and how much are you spending for training, for performance, for it. So I think it's the curiosity that Donnie has in order to to find like what's really like the problem in
that tech can solve. Yeah,
exactly. And especially within the HR division,
yep.
or maybe like the strategical part of the company that are lacking.
Yep.
And then we saw this opportunity, and we kind of like validated it a little by little until we find like we built the whole almost more offerings within our product. And then starting I think after 1 or 2 years after that process, we kind of like start closing big and bigger deals
a lot easier afterwards,
then,
because you kind of get the idea. Okay, this is where they're struggling with,
right?
And then this is how much they probably, you have some sort of idea. This is how much they're willing to pay for it,
right?
And this is how they want to the product works, right? So
right.
it gives you an insight as a CTO who built the product,
right?
Okay, this is. It's not a well, it's still an MVP at the early stage, I assume, right. But then you already have a clarity from the get-go,
right?
What kind of product that you should build.
Right.
Because usually startups beginning, I think they're gonna need this,
right?
And then they tested it in market. It turns out that they don't want to pay for it, or
right.
It seems like they just use it for three months and then they churn afterwards, right? So there's a process that Doni did at the beginning,
right?
Talking to actual customers, to the users, potential users, to achieve that. And at what point you feel that you're really confident with this? Is there a time when you onboard the first big client? That's when you say, okay, this is it.
That's totally true. I mean, I think we built this new version of Happy5, the second product that we have, and we start closing like a small deals at the beginning on the first year, on the second year. But I think the interesting part is here comes the sales skill of Doni Priyandi, right? So we didn't have a lot of I mean, all sales I think does this, right? Meaning that you kind of like sell the idea, the story, and like the end goal of what could it be? What could it be? What
after
problem?
Using
What problem could be solved when you start using us? When you trusted me or the Happy5 to be your partner, to be your HR partner, to solve a lot of performance problem that you have. The process, the manual process happening. We're talking about not just managing 10 or 100 people in a company. We're talking about thousands, tens of thousands, and employees who this HR trying to measure performance. Are they performing really well? Are they growing, and so on and so forth? And there are several existing solutions already, but then it costs like really much. I mean, we're talking about like big players like SAP, like Workday. There's a lot of big players already in the scene, in the market, but then it's not specific, and it's not adaptive enough to the modern way of managing people performance. I mean, like
because they've been around forever, it seems.
and then 5 to 10 years recently, we've been with this agile performance. Like people do things agile, like following like the startups. We're talking to the enterprise customers. They want it to be agile as well. They want to be like Gojek. They want to be like Traveloka and everything. And they wanted to change the way they work, the way they measure performance within the company, how to drive innovations within the employees, and then we kind of like, I think Doni successfully sell the idea at first. We're not talking about the products yet, right? But I mean, like of course in the middle of the road, we actually like start building. Doni start hearing of all of this validations. People having HR having a dreams of, I wish this app could do A, B, or C, and then we kind of like start putting in here
few features here, features there,
and then I think the interesting part is that even since 7 years ago, when we start building this product, we tried to implant the mindset of not just Indonesian market can use this kind of product, but can fit can it fit to the global market
So
as
you
well?
have that vision right from the
Right.
start.
So
Yeah.
the company names is PT Indonesia untuk dunia, or Indonesian for the world. So we've been dreaming. We've
Can
been
see already the dreams
yeah. So
right there.
so we have this vision that we can build a product where it can fit to the global market as well, not just Indonesian market, and especially we're talking about SaaS.
Yeah.
And we're talking
Yeah.
about the enterprise SaaS, not the small business, medium business ones. We're talking about how can we acquire like a bigger market, what kind of problem, what is the big problem happening in the world.
Would love to talk more about that when because I got specific questions because
Right.
you're expanding to the US, and that's a good way to get. But I really want to go back a little bit when you say trust, right?
Right.
At the beginning, trust is fragile. Of course, in not just the beginning, every single point of time,
Right.
trust is fragile. But big corporations tend to be a late adopters in
Right.
new technology, right? How did you get around the hurdles to get your first customers, and how did they get to trust you to
Right.
for them to use your software?
Right. So I think a lot of
And
people.
and sorry, one more thing, and who that was the first customer was?
So sure, I think a lot of people know that selling software to small business compared to enterprise is
Completely
they're
different.
totally two different beasts.
Yeah.
People say, and then that's true. It's really, it takes longer time to actually close deals when you sell it to the enterprise
Yeah.
customer versus you go to retail F&B, and then basically, how much is it? 200,000 rupiah. Okay, let's so. Compared to selling hundreds of millions of billions of software contract for 1, 2, or 5 years,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. So the challenges was it takes really long time to actually close these big companies deals. We needed kind of like buffer, of course.
Right.
Like we sell to small companies. The Happy5 culture is still making money at that time. So but then I think during that process of waiting, like starting like our first, I think we have a big customers, like we have Sampurna, 5,000 people are using Happy5 culture. They paying us hundreds of millions contract like for a very long time. But then when you try to sell this new idea of agile performance management review within, luckily that our first big company, big clients that we closed, 35,000 employees is BCA.
Wow.
Back in 2000, I think we started talking to them when I joined actually in 2018.
18.
And then I think every month or every 2 months, they kind of like invited us. We follow up back and forth. They're talking. There's a lot of things that I collected,
I would
not
assume,
not just talking about that does the product fit to their process, but as well, how about the security compliance? Can you talk to this division?
Yep.
There's a specific in the operation, in the marketing, in the customer, there's a lot of there's a lot of
Processes and steps,
different process steps, needs, requirements from different division within the big companies to be able for them to actually fit Happy5 into their process, and what are missing in Happy5, and what can we promise to deliver within the early times before they actually start using it. Like I think we got lucky because the early enterprises, not just PCA, but we also have Ticket.com. We also have Wardah back then. We have Pegadaian as our company, as our clients, and then they were willing to work with us as well to start, co-creating what kind of a process, and how can the software support the process better. I think they knew they needed to go to this new modern process of performance management. They want to do like not just like direct appraisal from your manager, but as well from your peers. Your subordinates can also like do assessment of their bosses, and also like their indirect managers, and then they want to do calibrations like for the scoring. Like I'm 3.6. Like what's 3.6 for the other manager? So they want to like do all of this end-to-end process, And then we get all of this feedback. We try to fit it into our product roadmap, and there's a lot of things. This is like just a very small subset examples what I'm talking about, but I think there's hundreds of them early in the days where we try to take notes. Okay, this doesn't make sense for us to prioritize. This does not. This fits to US market. That's also one of the things that we consider as well. This fits to PCA. This fits to TCAT. This does not. Okay, so
whatever the requirement that they had at the time, it has to go back to your initial goals, which is you're going to the US market
as a company, as a Happy5. Okay. That's correct. But to answer your question, how we navigate through these closing these and serving this enterprise, basically, I think one of the thing is being patient is very important.
For sure.
Meaning that sometimes if you talk to these customers and then they don't takes long time for you to actually close the deals, or like talking to them whether they gonna use you or not use you. It's kind of like they kind of like a gift. Sometimes it's I don't know if it's a false hope or anything like I think you know what I mean.
Yeah. So, but it's a risk that you're willing to get through. Because you understood the payoff.
Right.
Once they use your product.
Right.
How does it look like? You definitely get a lot of validations out there in the market, right?
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons that why the enterprise customers likes us is because I think we've been doing really good job at managing their expectations. Delivering a fast and good quality product that fits to their complexity as well. This requires a really highly customized details management to be happening, and it requires hard work, obviously. And I think compared to the other competitors or vendors, we do like vendors. You can like can't compare with the other vendors as well, things like that, right? But then I think when other people talk to so for example, like BCA, when they try to talk to the other vendors, we get the feedback that they don't really understand like what the performance process should look like. They're just like IT vendors. So luckily we're not only just happen to have the expertise on building the technology, but as well we understand how performance management process should look like. So it's not just the building the product part, but I think that's 70% of the decision happened because they trust us to know their process better than the other competitors, which was only like building the,
because you understood the context and the requirement, the needs, why they doing it this way, which I assume that any like the general IT vendors would just I know how to build this thing, just give me the requirements and then I just build it. Right. So I guess this enterprise are really looking at is a partner who not only understand how to build it, but understood.
That is totally true.
Right.
Completely,
why
100%.
We're doing it this way, or because this is going to impact the day-to-day, to that certain level, right? So I totally understand why they pick you guys over. I mean, now, we touched this a little bit earlier. We're talking about workplace happiness. It wasn't a thing probably back then.
Okay.
And now it's becoming, what do you call it, like a buzzword in the corporate culture. Where do you see the future of employee engagement heading towards? How do you Happy5 will contributing to that space?
I think every
definite.
I think all of these buzzwords of work-life balance, employee happiness, and so on and so forth. I think at the end of it, the goal is for the companies to be able to retain, attract new talents, and basically making sure that they stay in the company and everything, right? And I mean, like with all of this, luckily after COVID, we're now like more open to remote working, and ping pong tables and all of this
free snacks
and coffee, like, you know, trip to Lembang and all of this stuff. I think the trip part has actually been it's been going for a while, but the ping pong table is a new thing, right? But I think again, still the most important thing is what are the alternatives? How do we actually attract and retain employees? I think the top reason why people leave the company is because they don't feel like whether they're growing in the company or the company doesn't grow. I think in my experience, like for example, growing meaning that does my salary grow?
Yeah.
Does the company grows?
Yep.
Does my relationship with my peers, with my managers grow?
Yep.
Is it getting better?
Yep.
Does this problem happens repeatedly and did not get solved?
Yeah.
Like, do people gossip when they have problem and instead of solving the actual problem?
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of a misconception about culture, right? So culture seems like you have like a colorful office, like better tables, like office in Sudirman and like but I think what really matters is that can employees or people be comfortable in doing the day-to-day work? Are people happy working with their peers? Are people compensated enough? Are people challenged enough? Do managers give a clear expectation, short-term, medium-term, and long-term, whether they're having an ambitious enough goal to actually become a better person within the company? I think a lot of, from my standpoint of view, talking to a lot of founders, to managers, people that they don't, sometimes a lot of, and also like to actual people, employees working, like it's not clear what my boss wants from me. They say yesterday they say they wanted to do this, but then the next day I did this, and then he got mad. So there's a lot of unclear expectations, like.
And that's not only happens in startups.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Exactly.
Right.
So and that is a more important problem to solve, rather than where do we go for the next trip? Thinking about that. So I think there's a lot of managers or maybe the directors getting biased on giving their employees better perks rather than actually solving this process problem, the culture, because this is actually what people do on a daily basis. Like, can I work better with my managers? Can I talk to purchasing and they can reject me like properly and can give me a reason why things don't go as expected, and how we can do this, like the way people collaborate, the way people talk to each other, the way people solve problem, the way that when there's a problem within the company, interdivisions, can we solve this problem properly without gossiping at the... So all this kind of thing, it's really simple stuff.
It's a daily stuff though.
It's a daily stuff, but then we see more of a ping pong tables being talked on, or maybe gym membership, or maybe like, I don't know, bulu tangkis after the... So this is fun. That's fun part. But I think more founders, or maybe like managers, or if you run a company or a manager of a company, I think it's more valuable for us, for the companies to actually start thinking and considering on how to solve the actual internal problem that becoming toxic and breaking the company from within.
Right.
I think that's more important, obviously. But of course, if you solve all of this, then we can start talking about ping pong tables.
Exactly. Now talking about the ping pong table, that's interesting, because you guys started like really early during the rise of Indo tech scenes, right?
Right.
So you guys would be competing with the likes of Gojek, Tokopedia in terms of capital and talent. Right. Because of course, you're in the B2B side, whereas Tokopedia and Gojek seems more sexier in the B2C sides, right? Obviously, capital and talent would get attracted into those areas.
Right.
How have you felt this? Is it some kind of like a real challenges back back then.
Right.
Like you get your talent that you're trained from, probably from the fresh grads, and then turns out, I got a double offer from.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
did you get that?
So
did you have to compete in that?
Right. I think when we're talking about 2015, this is like the year that Gojek launched their app, and then all of these Indonesian overseas who got paid so much from on Silicon Valley companies started coming back, and then there's a lot of there's a huge funding going on basically after Tokopedia and Gojek. There's a lot of money inflow into the businesses, to the new startups. Hence, why that these top talents were able to get compensated, like not fairly, but really
handsomely,
right? So, but I think this kind of happens for about 1 or 2 years, maybe like 2015 to 2017. There's a lot of poaching going on within Gojek, Traveloka. There's a lot of story, not just the big ones, but as well like the second layer or the third layer of the startups, like we did. And I think we kind of like trap into this is before I joined, but we kind of like trap into the fallacy of hiring the top talents equal you can be successful in building startups, which is not true.
Okay,
obviously, right? I mean, obviously the more it's good to have these talents, but unfortunately, also we're talking about the talent gap, like the skill set gap. We're talking about 2015. There's not a lot of expertise who can build app on iOS, on mobile apps, on the web. But I think after 1 or 2 years, especially when I joined Happy5 early into 2018, we were able to avoid this
craze. Let's call it like
this craze.
Yeah,
and then. I mean, also we need to rethink the way we attract talent.
Yeah.
And then luckily there's the tech boom also provide us with more of a talent who learn about hey, how do I join startup as a fresh grad, as a high school. We hired high school SMK, what do you call this, vocation school students. And they didn't go to university. They start working for us, and they did really well. I mean, until today, we're still hiring people from vocation school. So you kind of like rethink. I mean, like putar otak. What do you call that?
Rethink on how the hiring works.
Exactly.
That fits your situation, right?
Right. So
you can't compete with the offer that they.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're paying 5,000 USD in the Indonesian market, that's great. I mean, like we cannot compete with that unless you have the Gojek money, kind of thing, right? So luckily I've been, and then I think that's why Doni invited me to join, because I do have this I used to work in the Silicon Valley. I used to work in the new modern tech companies, how to build, not just how to build the software, but as well like how to build the talents, how to talk to other people, how to product being built. We're talking about tech product, and I think luckily I brought this experience from my previous company. I used to work in Sendit, and Sendit is also like partially their US company. They founded by US founders, but and I also learned a lot from this company. I brought this experience to, and actually it's my challenges as well. Let me see if I can hire like a really fresh grad from a local universities or local high school, vocation high school company, and whether I can train them to be better. A little bit slower, of course. But I mean, like we can hire more of them. Of course. Compared to,
and at the same time, it gives them an opportunity to taste what it's like to be in the tech company, tech startup world, where they probably couldn't get the opportunity elsewhere. Right.
Yeah. So I think we we also have, I think one of the different thing is that we didn't really tied to the VC money. When you get the VC money in the early, we do also get the VC money, but not that much. But when you're Gojek or maybe a Traveloka, they funded like with millions of dollars. I think there's a lot of startups happen to have like the KPI, they got funded, but then by 6 months, by 12 months, you have to be able to achieve A, B, or C. That's this kind of a really ambitious goals from their VC, and then you can only hire the best of the best. Sure. You cannot hire the non-experienced
the new starters. Yeah.
So we have the privilege to actually have a slow start, like no expectations from the other
third parties
investors or something like that. We've been fortunate to have very supportive investors. We do have angel investors. I think we also funded by 500 startups as well. We were lucky to find to work with this investor where they want to see us success and they invest in the founders, not just like setting us
trying to go where crazy the path of exit.
Crazy KPIs where we need to move like really fast and rapid and start to failing or maybe not. So we were lucky. So that's the reason why we didn't have this. I mean, like we a little bit do, but we try to avoid the red ocean. Kind of like talent market, and we try to start nurturing a new fresh grad new people and then training them.
It's amazing. You and Doni can get through it without losing the focus. You know what I mean? Because when you see like the big tech getting those much of investments, the speed of hiring, the type of people that they hire, like a lot of founders would be inclined to follow suit. With less amount of money. You know what I mean? That's the difference. So I mean, that's amazing that you can stick with your guns and do what you think it's best for the company for a long term. Now let's touch of your plan future going on, or this already started expanding to the US. I think it's such a milestone. I'm so happy with you, for you guys.
Thanks, man.
But obviously there's a challenge for being an Indonesian company. You got your root here, and then you're trying to sell to a new market, especially in the US. Every startups want to sell their product to the US. That's like a dream. And then you're walking in that dream right now. What's the challenge? Like, can you like let us know what's the challenge, and then how do you set up your team to be able to achieve that, your strategy?
I think we start with the right motivation at first, right? So why US? I think the reason we want to go to US is simply because we see like a bigger market opportunity compared to Indonesia. So if you're looking at the data right now especially in the SaaS industry, there's I think American or US companies spending about 161 billions every year to use the Slack, Asana, use all of this subscription-based software. And compared to Indonesia, I think the data point is about maybe like nearly $1 billion. So we're talking
just a fraction, like a really small fraction,
0.4% of US market. I think they are 60% of a market cap of a total spending, annual total spending to the whole world. In terms of spending in a software, especially in a SaaS software as a service, right? So I think, and then the second number is not London, UK.
US?
So UK is 11 billion. And the second is, I think, Canada. So majority is like the top 10 are the Western markets, right? We're
English speakers.
English speaking, Canada, Australia, and there's a lot of other. So when you see the gap between the first, the US, and then the second, it only makes sense for us as I think not just Indonesian founders, but founders everywhere around the world. When you try to build SaaS, try to consider or think whether we can build for the US market. What do they offer? What are the existing offerings, like the existing products that are popular on top of mind of the people in there, and whether we can build something quickly, execute rapidly in a shortened period of time with a lesser resources and money, of course, so that we can compete with the American existing American markets, right? So we saw that opportunity, and also I think that's the top reason we've been building this product for about over nearly 10 years by now.
A decade long.
And then we have this more complete product over the existing solution that already in the US. If you want to use the KPI management, you have to buy this for $10, and then you want to do appraisal, you need to buy another tools for $10 per user per month, and then there's $20, and another maybe like you pay for another HR tool. So at least people, the companies are spending at least like $50 to $100 a month, a month an employee every year. So if we can solve some of them like from $50 to only $10 just by using Happy5, I think we can compete. Not just Happy5, I mean like a lot of companies from around the world can compete to enter the market, and there's a lot of other industries actually like trying to do this as well. And I think that's the first. That's the motivation. I think we have knowing that we can build, we can execute more rapidly on we have a better start other than other. I think if we're talking about the existing solution in the US right now, where when you provide solutions separately, when you want to use KPI, you want to use appraisal, you need to buy two different product, and then we start asking, why are these companies, these specific tools does not build like the whole system? But basically they've been able to making like a really good amount of money by just building one specific narrowing on one single specific tool, and making sure there's hundreds of I think millions of tens of millions of business in the US can start using that and paying that, and they make good money, and that's the reason. But for us, especially Indonesian, we have
that's not going to work that way.
We are able to have a better unit economics when we try to develop this product. And then I think that's our competitive advantage when you try to sell similar product with a much more comprehensive and complete solutions to US market with an even like lower price. I think we have a good chance of succeeding in the
Sounds
US
really
market.
good. Yeah, it sounds like that's the situations that we have in the US right now, where a lot of different apps are very separated, and then hyper focus on just solving one thing.
Right.
But it seems like it's the culture of tech building over there compared to here. Like in here.
Right.
You are expected to solve the problem from
like becoming a super app,
like a super app kind of thing, right? But how do you set up your team for success though, for this kind of new endeavor?
We've been expanding to US just like recently. I think for the past I think since the early quarter two of this year, so it's only like been 6 months. And then we've been talking to many US customers, and we're able to acquire 3 paid trial customers right now. There's like a small division of the company actually try to explore how to use, whether this makes sense for their process and everything. So just repeating all the process all over again, just like entering into the Indonesian market. So I think the challenges is of course the time zone, and basically we need so 12 o'clock noon in Jakarta is 12 o'clock midnight
over there.
and so and Saturday morning is like Friday night in the US. So we were lucky to have. I think there's a writing from Paul Graham. It's called "Don't do things that don't scale," right? Especially when you early in building a startup. So basically, I think it's a good quote that we want to start building strong connection to the customers to these new customers, to actually understanding how the process really goes. So we didn't try to have like a reps like hiring immediately. Hey, you need to start closing deals in the US.
Yeah.
We, as a founder, I think every founder should do like the founder mode kind of thing, where you actually do the sales, you do the coding, you do the operations, you go to the warehouse to actually see where things go wrong and talk to the actual customers every day, every night. So I think that's what's been happening for us for the past 5 months. It doesn't. I know it doesn't scale, but it's needed to be done. It's just like acquiring new customers.
Just like how you started in the early days, right?
So
you're
it's
talking to the big enterprise.
Yeah. Besides, it's pretty expensive to actually pay US employees right now. So we're trying to validate the market. Once we have more customers, more money coming in, it only makes sense to invest more in expanding and actually retaining and serving these US customers. So at the moment we do things that don't scale, but hopefully soon enough we would be able to.
Pretty sure you can do it.
Yep.
Definitely can.
So thanks, man. Yeah. So that's the challenge.
Like
right now.
let me go back to the. I think it's very interesting when you said the motivation of the founders. That's the first feedback that you give just then. What makes Indonesian founders? I feel like Indonesian founders tend to be hesitant to compete on a global level outside their home turf, like outside Indonesia. Why do you think? Why do you think that? Well, first of all, do you see it that way?
So I think reflecting back on our experience, though, how we have really high conviction or confidence to enter US market is because I think we've been building this capital of a comprehensive product. We've been building this for over 5 to 10, 7 years. Like, I mean, like that really depends if we talk to the new founders who just getting started. I want to belittle the dream, but of course it's easier for us to succeed if we have like a really competitive product that can, if you compare it to what existing solutions already happening in the US, whether you can try to fit in with better price, with better solution service and everything. I think we could have a pretty good chance. But I think if we talk to maybe like there's a lot of founders or business owners business owners who have technology product who might be able to like sell to the US customers. That really depends whether they can actually do like a better offering than the existing solution to the US market. I mean, I understand that the Indonesian market is tough already.
It's really small.
It's really small. I mean, like I think the motivation for us is because the market is too small in here and I think as a businessman everywhere around the world, you wanna do as little as possible with a biggest reward as much as possible. And then we see that more possible if we go to the US market rather than just like staying here. Within. I mean, like you can capture a little bit of a market. I mean, like you can build a company in here. You can have several employees in there. But if you want to go big, I think it's only good if you consider like different markets and then see whether you can fit in.
And when you say big, it's also very subjective towards the founders, right? When I think about your size, even before expanding to the US, you're already serving the likes of BCA and other enterprise clients, and a lot of founders would be very content with those kind of achievements already. Right.
Yeah. Well.
And the way I see it, you already set the company that even before today, like even when you're starting into 2017, 2018, this product might not be able to be sold in the US. So you had that already in the beginning,
right?
From the get-go, you already had that.
Yeah. So I think. Did I mention this already? But the company, the registered name of the company is
I
said that already.
Indonesia.
So PT Indonesia untuk Dunia or Indonesia for the world. So
there you go.
So we registered the company since 2014 using that name, right? So I think Doni, this is also one of the reasons that I think we really have a really big ambitious goal, and then we also believe and we also have the pathway to actually build the product that can fit to the global market. So that's the foundation of where we want to go for Happy5. So, and then not only, I mean, you can make good money and good lifestyle, and maybe like you can. There's a lot of there's several offers to acquire a company as well before that, but yeah, I mean, you can retire maybe, but if you want to go big, I think part of the reason as well is because we wanna make a good impact as well. We wanna be an example as well for not just Indonesian, for like, but everywhere, any founders from around the world where you wanna,
especially from the Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia. I think there's a lot of Indonesian successful stories like Gojek, Traveloka. There's a lot of companies been successful building big tech companies here in Indonesia.
Unicorn
Indonesia as well. I think you heard some of like Japanese or maybe Indian or maybe like European, like Spotify from Sweden, right? There's a lot of successful big startups going global, serving global market and customers. And then I think one of the ideas it's a little bit patriotic, but we want to make Indonesia proud as well. So there's a lot of
I like that.
Hopefully there's a tech product from Indonesia, built in Indonesia from Indonesian founders. We're able to get the attention of a global market. I think that will be cool as well.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. And also that drives the economy. I mean, like if we can become the example, like people see that somebody can do it, maybe I can do it
exactly
too. So
and then you drive the job markets from there. You're building the talent out of Indonesia.
So, and we have really after a couple of years we start having a lot of cool, great, really smart, talented, driven tech talents here in Indonesia. There's a lot of it. Unfortunately, due to tech winters, there's a lot of people losing their job from the tech industry. But come on, I mean, like if we can build more companies like us, not just serving the Indonesian market verticals, but as well to the global market, Southeast Asia, Europe. I mean, we can achieve so much more with what we have in Indonesia right now. So that's excellent. I think that's the idea.
I think that's amazing idea that I think a lot of Indonesian startup founders especially can really rethink of why they're starting the company from the get-go.
Right.
Probably at the beginning you change the company name, the registration name, Indonesia untuk Dunia. That's amazing. That's amazing name, by the way. Okay. So last question that I really want to ask is I want to touch a bit on your relationship with your co-founders.
Right.
That it seems like very crucial in the early days and during the growth period. How does it look like? Because it seems like one of the most crucial relationship that you have is you and your co-founder.
Right.
You're like the relationship is like a marriage relationship, right?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
How does your relationship with your co-founder looks like?
So talking about marriage, I think me and Doni especially, I think we kind of like a love at first sight. You know what I mean? Like you find someone you love, like, and then you got married like the very next day, something like that. So I think I got lucky because since the beginning when we met, when we talk about the opportunity to actually working this company together, I think we found so much similarities, personality match, entrepreneurial spirit match. What else? Ambition match
values
as well. We come from a quite similar background. We from Jaksel, both of us, kind of like that. And I think that's like a foundation of our relationship. So I know that there's a lot of there's a founders, or maybe like if you're a POD, sometimes you have like dinner, or maybe like on the weekend or every once a month, like you go somewhere, just like maybe talking about or maybe not, but just like building and keeping in connections between each other. But I think for the past 1 or 2 years, me and Doni, we haven't really done that as much as in the early days. I think we just observing each other. I mean, like I know what he's doing, he know what I'm doing, and then just by looking, just by observing his moves,
what the progress each other's made.
Just basically, I know what Tony is thinking right now, and then vice versa. Everything, every ideas, every arguments, every things that we discuss, every disagreements is just like becomes being very positive. We didn't start it with like a negative thoughts of a judgment, whether it should. Of course, we have a lot of disagreements, but it always comes from the benefit of the doubt, right? Start asking why Donnie's thinking like this, and then also vice versa, why. But fortunately, I think 80% of the time, I think we agree on so many things. So that's the personality, the ambition, the way we want to build the company, kind of like match. So we kind of like lucky to found each other. For sure. From a very beginning. And then the relationship, even though we do not have dinner like every month, we still I know what he's thinking.
Or even probably like a phone call already, like what are you up to?
So this is really so he was in the US, and then basically I just like when I feel like I want to talk to him, just basically talking about, hey Don, how's the weather there look like? How's the hotel? And hey Don, I have this problem at the. I have problem talking to this guy. What should I do? So it's like talking to your girlfriend. Basically, you call them randomly on nighttime, maybe or on 10 o'clock at night. So and then it's totally possible between both of us. I mean, I know it sometimes it could be like too personal, like invading privacy time kind of thing. But I mean. That is the kind of relationship that I have with Doni. I don't know if any other founder should have this kind of tightness of relationship.
I think what you have with your co-founder is certainly what people are aiming to have. Like I think my relationship and Adrian is pretty much like that. Like we're pretty much in the same stage of life. We have kids and. We're kind of like, okay, let's hang out on Saturday. Okay, get the kids to play somewhere, and our wives talking to each other, and we just talk about work basically on a Saturday or Sunday, whenever we meet. Right? So it's kind of like it's becoming a normal for us. We don't see work as something that we really have to talk to. It's just flowing what you have with Donnie, right? Like you just pick up a call and, hey man, I got this issue. Sometimes I just pick up a phone call. Hey, I got this. I think this could be the most stupidest idea ever.
Right.
Becoming a sounding board, right?
Yeah, exactly. So and one other thing is that some of the values that Donnie has, like for example, there's no such let me rephrase this correctly. So. There's nothing bad about over communicating kind of thing. So there's a lot of times we keep repeating each other. Like sometimes I just want to repeat things that I knew that I said this to Donnie. And sometimes it feels like it feels stupid, right? You said that to me already. Why should so this kind of this is usually the typical response when people being told twice or three times. But then with Donnie and I think at first it was stupid idea. What you should do at first for me that was stupid. I know you're not stupid. Why are you telling me the same thing, right? But then Donnie I think Donnie convinced me that sometimes people forget. I mean, like as a human being, sometimes you forget.
Totally.
I have a lot of things in my mind, and it's super okay for me to tell you. The same thing twice, 3 times, every couple months, over and over and over again. Until it's got implanted in our mind that we wouldn't be able to forget it. And I start doing the same. I keep repeating myself. Second, third time, and then because there's several times. Sometimes Donnie forgot about things that I said. I need to over communicate this. So I think this is just an example of value sharing. In terms of life, the way we collaborate, the way we talk to each other, what's offensive, what's not offensive. How
Yeah.
can we take like the good out of bad things? There's a lot of values that we, over the period of time, we start getting to know each other, getting more understanding. Sometimes I get mad, or maybe not mad, like, doesn't make sense, Don. What the fuck you talking about? But then, and then it takes a patience, courage, and understanding and empathy to actually like step back for a little bit, give it a couple of days, maybe even sometimes weeks, to actually understand what's really Donnie thinking about, and vice versa as well. I have arguments. Sometimes Donnie doesn't agree with me, and then giving time to actually understand, rather than I'm waiting for you to convince me. No, so I think that's also part of partially the key lesson or key success for our relationship to go with, exactly like marriage as well, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
that's exactly you're describing it.
Yeah, sorry. And the second thing I think is really important for me to mention here is, I think appreciation is really important. Sometimes on a very small thing, on a not too often, but sometimes when you people tend to overlook the small things, right? I mean, like, people tend to forget, but I think Donnie created this culture, which also spread it to me, and I thought the way I appreciate and start looking at the details of what my subordinates, my team, and other people in the division are doing, is that try to see the little things and do the appreciations. And then I think this creates happiness, not just between me and Donnie, but within the company. It spreads, right? And people start doing it's
becoming a culture itself.
Like this really small things. Hey, thank you for buying me coffee. Hey, thank you for opening the doors for me. Hey, thank you for working on this stuff. This is really good, man. So mantap. All these small little things, like the thumbs up, and all these small things. We really, I think Donnie started this. I also start to doing more overly, sometimes a little bit overly doing about it. But we found that people like that, especially when you're the founders of a company, when you lead this multiple people's working for you. I think people wanna know whether you're doing the right thing, or especially because when you appreciate people start to repeatedly doing the same thing, even better and better and better. So I think the small little things like this all created like the bonding of a relationship with me, not just me and Donnie, but also within the company. So I think that's an example of what's happening between.
I think that's really amazing, the relationship that you have. As I mentioned before, I think this is the kind of relationship is a foundation of any excellent startups that has a big dreams like yourself, right? And I don't know. I think people would kill for having co-founders or business partners that can take it for a long run, because this is like it's going to be a long journey. It's not going to be just like a year or two. Mate, thank you so much for coming to Nalar Bicara. I really appreciate you coming here, and best of luck for your next adventure to the US.
Thank you. Best of luck for the podcast as well.
Thank you.
Awesome.